Hey guys, welcome back to Illumineites. I hope you had a good week. I'm your host Josh, and this is my co-host
Dan Kyle.
We've got one big thing to talk about today, just the one. It does follow a little bit into what we started to discuss last week. The one thing we're going to be talking about kind of covers more than one thing anyway.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
So
it's a big splash in the headlines.
A couple of weeks now since it was an afternoon of watching 3 hours of Disney content on the Disney Lorecast.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I was quite surprised by it. I was prepared to be bored.
Yeah.
When I was told it was a 3-hour podcast, I was a bit like...
Yeah, we got a little bit of a hint before, didn't we? Like how long it was going to be. I was surprised because I thought it was just going to be like a 20-minute Nintendo Direct type thing.
Yeah, I was expecting short and sweet.
Yeah.
You know?
Just like, here's the new set. Here's some information about the store championships, the set championships. And that would be it. But no, 3 hours of content. And it was a solid hour and a half, nearly 2 hours first of
new stuff, spoilers, showing stuff off. And I was really impressed with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, at no point was I bored or, looking to do something else. I was pretty glued to it.
Yeah. The production on it was really good as well.
Is that what we're hoping to achieve?
Yeah. This is our attempt at that.
we need a few cameramen and
not our one-person production crew behind the scenes.
My lovely wife, thank you for your help. Speaking of my lovely wife, I should probably mention last week we said about our table numbers and our podcast numbers.
Yes.
So our first one was done by Matthew Davies, lovely guy. The second one and all subsequent ones are going to be pictures that my wife has drawn for us. Yeah. So she likes to draw little Disney tokens onto our table numbers, so each table is unique. So this week I believe we've got the poison apple from Snow White,
very fitting,
perfectly with the Queen. With the Queen. But this is our number 2 table. You ever come down to Dice and you see how cool our table numbers are?
Yeah.
Thank my lovely wife.
They're very unique.
I love them, and it's quite fun to watch her go through the process of picking and drawing them
and choosing what elements to put on them.
She's like, that's too much of a Disney image, and I'm like, what does that mean? And she's like, I just need an icon. I need something that's people will know, but at the same time I don't have to draw too much.
Yeah.
I want to take away from the number.
The more deep cuts as well, like the little Cuzco transformation bottle.
Yeah.
It's made some very good choices.
Yeah. But you'll get to see more of those the more of our podcasts you watch. But back to the Lorecast.
Yes.
So last week we mentioned the two game format, and that's probably one of the biggest things I think after challenges to come out of the Lorecast.
Yeah, it's something that's still having ripples even these few weeks after.
Talked about challenges last week, so we're not going to go over those. But the format for challenges has been set as 2 game rounds.
Yes.
I kind of hate there are a few people using best of 2.
Yeah,
I really don't like that.
Yeah.
2.
What is your take on them first and foremost?
I guess we should explain what it is.
Yeah.
At the minute, we play 3-round games. So 3 game rounds. God, I'm gonna get that wrong all day. 3 game rounds. So it's a best of 3.
Yep.
You decide who's going first. You play the first game. Whoever loses gets to decide who goes first in the second game. You play the second game, and if you win 2-0, that's the round over. If you are 1-1, you play a third game to find a winner. Yeah. The idea with 2 game rounds around that time, is more each person gets to go first in a game. So you play one game with, say, you going first, and then we play a game with me going first. And whatever the result is after those 2 games, that's how the result is handed in.
Yes. Yeah. So the problem with the 3 game format
is time.
And also the other element was people were saying it basically came down to the dice roll, to the coin flip. So if you went first on the first game, you were potentially going to win.
You've got better odds because you can win your first game, lose your second game, and still choose to go third in the third game. Go first in the third game. Yeah. So your odds are slightly better.
Yeah.
I mean, having played card games for a long time, I'm not super sold on that logic.
Yes. It's an issue with all card games, and different games have different ways of dealing with it. But and we can talk about some
Disney
of those in
and
a moment.
Ravensburg announced the 2-game round as their current solution to it.
Yeah. So, like Josh said, if you decide who goes first game, winner of that one, doesn't matter who loses, the opposite person goes first.
In the second game.
Every game that you win gives you a point. If you win both games, so go 2-0, you get an additional point. So if you are the winner of that whole round,
yep,
you get 3 points.
Yes. Yep. 2 for your victories and 1 for having a clean sweep.
So it means after the first set of games, there will be a bunch of people that are on 3 points. There'll be some that are on 1 point.
And there'll be some that will be on
0.
No points.
Yes. Yeah. And obviously, even those people that went 1-1, they've got to catch up to people that are then 2 points ahead because of the way that this is being done.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it?
This is where my issues kind of come in. I think the gap between points is huge. Those 2 extra points are huge.
Yeah.
And I worry about a situation where I am a good Lorcana player. You are a bad Lorcana player.
I am a terrible Lorcana. No, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm just talking facts here, not but hypothetically, I am a good Lorcana player. You're a bad Lorcana player.
Yeah. Hypothetically.
My day is spent playing good Lorcana players, and I go 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, and I win a round and I lose a round. All 5 rounds that we're playing for the day because all the people I play are good players.
Yes.
Yep. You as a bad player get paired against a good player round 1.
Yep.
You go 0-2. Oh well.
I go away.
Yep. You go to your second round.
5 choices.
You play against another good player because there's still a few in the cup for you. You go 0-2 again. Oh well. Go on to the next game. Oh, you're now against people more of your level, say. Yeah. And you manage to go 2-0. You manage to go 2-0 for the next 2 rounds as well. So my record is I've won a game and lost a game all day against really good players, and I end up with 5 points.
Yep.
Your record is you've lost your first 2 rounds completely, but won your last 3 rounds, which were against easier opponents.
I'm sat there on
You're sat there on 6 points?
Well, 9 if it's...
Oh, 9 points because you're 3-0. Yeah. So you have 4 more points than me.
But I may have picked those wins up against technically or hypothetically easier players.
Yeah.
Or opponents.
And what worries me is that it kind of, for me, it feels like you get punished for being at the top. For
if you're at the top, you're at the top, and you've probably gone. You've got the 3 points every single time, haven't you? But that
it punishes good players in the middle.
Yes, yeah. The middle ground is going to be a bit of a no man's land of I'm higher than people at the bottom, but I'm not hitting high enough to kind of compete with people at the top end.
Yeah.
That have gone to won both games in each round and got 3 points.
Yeah.
Because hypothetically, in that situation, after the 5 rounds, there's somebody at the top that's on 15 points instead.
And like a situation it could lead to is we go to a big event, there's 8 rounds day 1. I know I need 5 wins to make day 2. I need 5 clean sweeps to win day 2. What's stopping me going, cool, I'll lose my first 2 rounds so my matchups are a bit easier. And then I've got 1 complete loss round sort of safety, and then I've got the 5 rounds that I need to win.
Yeah.
Like, it worries me that is a situation in which I understand it's not in the spirit of the game.
Yes, of course.
But
these are going to be high stakes games for seeded cards. Like one of the prizes, I think we mentioned it last week, maybe, is that you get a gold Brave Little Tailor Mickey, and it's numbered. So like everybody is going to have, that is going to be your copy of that card. It's going to be individual to you, and that's going to have big resale value.
Yeah, value.
Like you look at the D23 cards that came out, they sell for crazy amounts now.
I mean, personally, if I ever do play and win at that level, I don't think I'd ever sell materials cards. That would be like a massive keepsake for me.
Yeah.
But I can understand people selling them. You know, there's a lot of money in them, and there's not a huge amount of prize money in the game at the minute. I think that will change.
I mean, there's none officially from Ravensburg and Disney, is there? It's just the card payouts.
Yes, yeah.
But obviously America is a big money country. It's a big money situation. All of the tournaments are
Magic is money.
Yeah.
I mean, again, all of the big tournaments that we're seeing in the US, 120 odd people, they're all 2Ks, 5Ks. Thea's tournament.
Yeah, 2K over the weekend.
2K over the weekend, wasn't there? Yeah.
Highest amount of players, again, digitally, but
but it's
still biggest numbers that we've seen.
It's great to see all those community members coming together.
Yes.
And playing,
And interesting, you mentioned Thea. They did do the 2-game format this time.
For this weekend? Okay.
And there was a lot of people or a lot of discourse on Twitter or X, where they were saying, like, the additional point feels bad. Like, even people that were winning were like, the additional point feels bad. And so, I don't know if... I mean, Ravensburger came out and said, we've got some new software that we're using to trial this. People have been doing it under NDA. So I wonder if there's a little bit more to it than what we already know. Like, is it going to still be Swiss as we know it, where you do pair up against players of similar ability, or is it going to be more shuffled around?
Well, you say similar ability. Swiss is actually paired off of your current score.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if it is like current Swiss, then we will see the situation I described earlier where, the players at the top might be going one-on-one because they're the top players, and the only advantage they might get is going first. If they're both playing the same deck and they're both equally skilled, like, it might be as simple as the coin flip.
Yes.
Is the difference in them winning or losing.
Yeah, true. What do you think, not flipping this on its head entirely, but the other way around, where we have these groups? I mean, we call our community Illuminauts, but we're not a team. We're not a team. It's just a brand for the community. But there are teams out there.
Yeah.
If they're coming to events and they know X member of the team has gone so many things and they want to secure that person's place in Top Cut, what is to stop them from possibly slow playing?
It's another thing that's like, it's not in the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's another big concern for me is that, these organizations have a lot of processing power. Even during the tournament, they will have people there whose job it is to work this kind of stuff out.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if there were situations where, they work out player B is not going to make the top cut. Player A might make the top cut, but there's an opponent in the way of that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, player B's paired with the opponent. Cool. Like, this is your job.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go 2-0. Just make sure they go 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Or like, just make sure they only get one win off of you, or like slow play. And again, I really don't enjoy talking about this kind of stuff because it's really not in the spirit of the game. It's not how I would play the game. Like, for me, I sit down in front of my opponent with, like, the full intent to play a full game of Lorcana. That's why I'm here.
Because you enjoy the game.
Because I enjoy the game and it's fun and that's what I want to do. But there are people out there who do view it as a money-making opportunity, or view it as... For some people, it's a career as well. I guess we shouldn't make it all like...
No, it is some people's livelihoods. They travel around to these events and this is how they get their money.
Yeah.
It's what they do.
And it's important for them, like you said, their livelihoods. Like, I don't necessarily besmirch them from doing what they do. I just think it's
just things to be aware of and to have these discussions about
this new
TOs and judges.
This new 2-round system, I think, heavily leans into the ability to do that. That's my worry.
It feels a little bit Disney in that it's like, well, everyone's there to play and like have fun and
I can see that
spirit of the game, as we've mentioned. But when you are starting to put prizes, and maybe that's why they've stepped away from doing big money prizes as well. It's
maybe
just the cards sort of thing. Like, there's obviously still going to be demand and draw.
For
the cards, but
I mean, we sold
that's part of the reason.
Little sold out instantly. I think people are excited by those. The cards are gorgeous. If you haven't seen them on the Lorecast, look them up. I think we've got a new Dragonfire, a new Let It Go,
Cinderella, Rapunzel, and then there's a Rapunzel playmat as well.
For those are the top 8, I think it is.
And then the
top 4 get the gold serialized Taylor Mickeys, which
we
again
haven't seen yet, but they're apparently going to be an alternate art
again an alternate art. But they're really pretty. So I'm worried about 2-game format. I mean, we're going to try it out. We'll probably try our locals. We'll see how it feels for the community. I'd like to say we've got a good spread of player levels.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that we can use it to sort of better gauge how it suits the normal player.
Yeah, we did it. I don't know if posthumously is the right word for it, but we did it post a league one day and worked out what people would have scored using that system. So if any games went to 3 rounds, we just took the first 2 and pointed it that way. And there was whoever came second in that particular tournament using the new format, they would have actually come 5th because they had one game that went to the 3rd game, so that would have been a point each. Another one just ended outright in a tie, so again, another point each. And then they did win the last one, so they were on 5 points. Whereas somebody went 0-2.
2-0-2-0.
And then 2-0-2-0. And I know Andrea wasn't too happy about that because it was me that beat her, and she was like, "You're the problem, you're just you." Which is nice. It's good community.
But you would have ended up on, or she would have ended up on 6 points.
She would have ended up on 6 points, which then would have put her behind, put her in second. So it does have a big shift for those 2 people, but everybody else kind of
I mean, like you said earlier, as TO and judges, we're going to keep a close eye on it.
Yeah,
we're going to try it out. We're going to see if it works. My initial gut reaction is I don't like this, but that's also not entirely my call to make.
Yeah.
As a TO and a judge, it's my job to enforce the rules, and therefore if Ravensburger and Disney say these are the rules, that's what we're going to enforce.
I think as somebody who hasn't played as many card games, my initial reaction watching the Lorecast was like, this sounds cool. It's different. Like it's something different. And then seeing like people that do play a lot of card games and they were like, I hate this. It's a terrible idea. I was like, okay, well now I'm interested in the discourse around this and why. And that for me has been the interesting thing. I mean, we've had multiple conversations together. We've talked to people that are big players in different card games. Like we're talking people that have like got worlds invites to other games, and we've heard their takes on it and stuff like that. And yeah, it's interesting, this divide. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes and like trying it out.
One of the things that really made it click for me was we were chatting to one of the local Pokemon players. Mm-hmm. He's going to Worlds, and he said about like your win percentage and the difference in that. Like looking at win percentages, your win percentage needs to go from like a 55 to like a 70 or 85.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's such an insane win rate that you need.
Like when he sits down for 9 rounds of Pokemon, he knows he can like win
6 games.
6 games.
6 games. 5 games in a draw.
Yes.
Gets him into day 2.
Yeah. But sitting down at Lorcana, you're like, I probably have to try and win all of these maybe. Like,
it's not just that, it's the number of losses you can have.
Yeah.
Like you can lose, you can win 2-1, so you've got like 6 losses, but you've still won enough rounds. Yes. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze.
Gesundheit.
Yes, you've won enough rounds that you're still going through. Whereas with Lorcana, losing that game is huge. It's losing the round, basically.
Yeah. It's locking yourself out of those potential 2 extra points that you might need.
Yeah. So. But enough about 2-point system. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about it in a few weeks once we've tried it.
Yeah. We spoke about new cards that were revealed at Lorecast.
There was
surprising.
Yeah, there was the prize cards, but there was also some spoilers for set 4 and the whole story reveal. So
yeah, I mean, again, we heard that set 4 was going to be very story focused. I've always been a big follower of like the lore and everything that's going on with the Illumineers, so I found this section really, really interesting. Ursula returns as the next set. What do you think, Josh?
I feel like a bit of an idiot because as a TO, I've handed out hundreds of copies of Detective Mickey.
Yeah.
And yet the entire time I'd never read the flavor text.
Yeah.
Or looked at the card.
Or pretend, clocked that he was holding like this.
He's holding seaweed up. Like I've just never noticed that at all. And it was literally my job during set 1 to hand those cards out.
Yeah.
So like looking back, I love the way it's been weaved in. I'll be honest, I was a bit lackluster with the story up until this point.
Yes.
It kind of felt like it was a backseat to we're printing cards with Disney characters.
Yeah. I think people didn't know where to look for the story as well. Like people aren't always seeing those little trailers that they were put out, and because they're so they're done in such a specific style where it's like jump cuts. It's not. There's no
flow.
Yeah, there's no flow, and it's not vocal. There's no printed text on it. It's just silent, almost silent movie with just like music. And so it does require a lot on the player or the consumer to piece bits together. And I personally, as an English teacher, media teacher, I love that. I think it's been great marketing, and I put my tinfoil hat on, and I was like, when people were like, "Oh my god, the Duke and Mickey in set 1 had the like seaweed in it," I was like, "Yes, but also this, and this." And I came
you
out
had a
as
field day. You had a field day.
I came out as the crazy person in our Illuminat's Discord that was like, "Yes, but there's this, and this," and then also these things from even the Inklings, like the whole like side story, and maybe people don't know this one as such, but the Lost Boys stealing the wheel.
Oh, the wheel, yeah.
And then you've got Wendy.
They stole the pirate ship wheel,
the pirate ship wheel, and then Wendy is piloting the Jolly Roger, and you can see the like Ursula structure in the background.
Yeah.
So that was sort of teased at, but then on the new stuff for Illumineer's Quest, which we'll again talk about, the Ursula printed on that around her neck, she's got the conch shell from Little Mermaid, but she's also got what seems to be a cannon and a pirate ship wheel.
Oh,
so I'm like,
okay.
Who else do we have involved in this? Like, and we've seen some of the entangled glimmers for Illumineer's Quest.
Yeah, but one thing I'm interested in is, so let's talk about the next set. Entangled is the sort of cool mechanic that's been spoiled right now. It's a way for heroic characters, heroes from our favorite Disney movies, to become villainous.
Yeah.
What happens to the villains?
Yeah,
or are we just all villains? Or like, I'm really interested to see.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment, this has only been confirmed for the Illumineer's Quest.
Yes.
So this is the special gold deck that comes in the Illumineer's Quest.
I guess we should explain that. The in the Lorecast, a few things were spoiled for the next set. One of the things was a new game type called the Illumineer's Quest, which is a cooperative battle against Ursula and her plans for Inkland's domination.
Yes. We know that there's some sort of contract, this has been spoke about, that has been signed. Some of the flavor text for Ursula card, I think it's the Sea Witch card from Inkland, mentions this contract that's been signed by someone. It doesn't seem necessarily like it's
we've also got the binding contract as well, don't we?
Yes. So, it's an actual card. So that's going to feed into the story in some way. But yeah, it's cooperative. And then when you beat Ursula, and I think this is a cool little thing, there's a sealed card in the set as well that you're only allowed to open after
if you beat
defeat
it. Oh, okay.
So, I mean, obviously people are just going to rush ahead. And
what do you think it is?
I'm going to assume it's like the Trident refreshed.
It's got to be the Trident, right? Yeah. Like all the story has been talking about the Trident and point towards it. I think it's got to be the Trident.
I mean, I think it was when Floodborn was released, they specifically name dropped that the Trident was missing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we're getting a Trident card this set, we're getting one. And there wasn't one. So, and then Inklings came out, still no Trident.
So do you think the Trident card will be in the core set? And will the art of it be different? That's the question, right? So are we getting like an old art?
I mean, possibly. That would be pretty cool. I think it'd be not silly. It's very good marketing if it's like, oh, this card comes in this set, but you only get the one copy of it, so you need to buy this 4 times.
That would be
annoying.
Miserable. That would be miserable.
It's happened in other card games where like a specific set has come out, but usually those cards aren't super important.
So interestingly on that, there are other card game manufacturers that are quite well known for their release of promos or other cards that are only available in certain ways. And as someone that used to play a lot of those games, it is painful having to go to the cinema to watch a movie 6 times so that I have a playset of whatever card is just
not the one.
it's not the way to do it. Like, give out promo cards, give out alt art cards, but don't give out like unique cards in those kind of things. It's just not right.
I know. So I'm hoping it is just an alt art or something cool. I mean, maybe it is just a different. So the set has 2 decks, 2 ready-made decks, and they have a different border where there's like tentacly ink flow on them instead, just to make it easier, so you know which is come from the Illumineer's quest. There's a gold back deck, which is Ursula's deck, and we've only seen 1 card from that, and that's an entangled Captain Hook. He seems to be like more of a evolution on the Forceful Duelist card from set 1. I think it's Vengeful Duelist is what it's called, but much more powerful. And then there is the scenario cards. So they dictate the difficulty of the game, and from what we've seen of those, the starting one at least, it says that you can spend lore to do interesting things.
So the way I sort of understood it was we'll be questing to gain lore to use that to activate abilities and defeat enemies, and we obviously can fight stuff still, but lore will be used in a slightly different way in the game than Rush to 20 to win.
And it might still be that we have to hit 20 to defeat Ursula.
There just might be roadblocks.
It might just be
we have to spend lore
to help out. So it's looking interesting. I'm excited for more to be revealed about it.
One thing that kind of excites me as a TO organizer and like a community manager is I think it's a great way to get people into the game. For a lot of people, the idea of coming and playing against someone for the first time is quite terrifying. And it's good to have a product like that where we can sort of sit down next to someone and go, cool, me and you are going to play together. Any questions, we can go through them.
And it encourages that cooperation just in plays as well. Like it can be like, oh, I've got these cards in hand. I mean, we play Arkham a lot together.
The Arkham Horror living card game by Fantasy Flight. It's really good.
I am very new to that, so a lot of the time at our play sessions you'll be like, okay, the best thing to do here is play this and this, and I find that really nice. Like, it's very helpful, and we've done that sort of thing. I mean, we tried out Two-Headed Titan at the weekend, so
we're trialing a new casual format, Two-Headed Titan. So it's a 2v2 format. You're a team. All of your cards that say you only target you, they don't target both players. You take your turns in a clockwise order, and you're trying as a team to get to 30 lore. There are some ink restrictions, so you can only have 2 inks in your deck, but you can only have 3 inks between the 2 of you. So you end up getting some crossover in a color, basically.
I mean, we wanted to encourage people to build together, to make actual decks that were more suited to multiplayer and benefiting each other. And I think that's something that we're going to see. These cards that you maybe haven't used in the past, maybe they fit better into the Illumineer's quest.
It's one of my favorite things about more casual formats. You think about like Lorcana, the number of cards we play that like competitive level just don't get played, but it's like it's Lorcana. Like this is the pool that we've got. Or I mean, Movie Nights is the other one, right? Like,
Movie Nights. Like, I built a whole deck around the Titans from Hercules, and just it was more like Hercules cameoed in it than anything, but just running the Titans and getting to see that work, because it didn't have that constant threat of it's going to be removed or this just doesn't work. And it was nice to see those like game elements click into place. So I'm excited to see that in the Illumineer's quest as well, like how it all comes together. And, I mean, just the Entangled.
So one thing that I think is really interesting, like you said with the Entangled, there are villains that are entangled as well. I'll be interested to see if any of my thought process with that was more like, I wonder if any of the villains will side with the heroes. It'd be interesting to see, some of the bad guys that we've seen up to now.
I mean, I put my tinfoil hat back on again. There's some official banner art on the Ravensburger website, and you can see near Venturo there's a John Silver glimmer, but he seems to be like in full, almost Captain Amelia Regalia style, and like his cannon looks more like. I
mean, he's not a villain anyway. Let's get this. We're talking about my favorite Disney movie right now. He's not a villain.
He's not a villain overall.
He's a lovable rogue.
Yes.
Slightly misunderstood.
I think his Emerald card listing as a villain, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it does, but that's a mistake. So he's not a villain.
He's not a villain.
He's a lovable rogue. Yes. The villain is the sniffy Scoops.
Yeah,
he's the real villain.
The real villain is capitalism.
The lust for treasure.
Poor Jim. Yeah, always getting arrested by
But
the
yeah.
police.
The last thing I want to just mention is obviously those promo cards that we have seen, the alt arts for challenges. They are absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
Please go give them a look. Hopefully we'll hear some news about Lil soon. We'll know if there are more tickets being released, or if we manage to get the judge program, or if we're going to media. We will be there. We've decided that between two of us.
Yeah, we're going to Lil one way or another.
And I think the rest of the European challenges I'm going to try and get to as well, either through judging, playing, or even if we just go for social media reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up there today.
Okay,
I think we've talked about a lot of stuff. Lorcast was great to watch, and if you can find it, it's worth watching. Surprisingly, like I said, 3 hours of fun and enjoyment.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, we didn't mention Encanto got revealed as the new thing, but I think Illumineer's quest was the bigger thing to come out of it, and the spoilers out there. Like, you go look at the Encanto cards, like a part of the starter deck. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Bruno was part of the whole reveal trailer.
Yeah, because we saw the version of him, didn't we?
Yeah, an entangled
version of him as well. Yeah. So
yeah, it'd be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, I think good to wrap it up. Hot takes for this week then, Josh?
Hot take for this week.
In the word of Lorcana.
I'm going to stick with my whole villains are going to become heroes thing. I reckon that in set 4 we'll see some cards that are characters that we associate as villains. Relatively, maybe like those kind of characters working with our hero characters. You know. Okay. Obviously, Hook's been entangled, so we won't be seeing Hook Peter Pan necessarily. But I'm thinking along those kind of lines, we'll see some of the baddies being goodies to stop Ursula.
Yeah,
because they all have their own
want
plans.
A piece of the pie.
Later
on. Yeah. Interesting. I like that.
What's your hot take?
It's not so much a hot take because we've already had little hints of it, but I'm going to stick with a prediction I've had in the past of. This set 4 is going to really focus on heroes. We've had a lot of fantasy shift in the past where people have become knights or archers and stuff like that. I think we're going to see a lot more characters as superheroes, and that could be a way in for things like Gizmo Duck, Darkwing Duck. I mean, I'm just throwing other ducks out.
We had the Pluto, that's a superhero.
Yes, we had the superhero Pluto. They just revealed the Goofy one.
Yeah.
So I could see definitely the Fab Five getting superhero makeovers this time. Maybe that could be a way into doing Big Hero 6. I know a lot of people are clamoring for that, but yeah, hot take. More heroes,
I was this many years old when I found out that Big Hero 6 is actually a Marvel product. I did not know that.
We were actually at the Disney 100.
At D100, and I'm there I love Big Hero 6, and Dan's like, oh yeah, it's Marvel, isn't it? And I'm like, what? Sorry.
Yeah.
Just completely.
And then we round the corner and they've got a display with the
original comic book from Marvel.
Look how different they are as well. So yeah, more heroes.
Cool.
I think.
So we're off to Disneyland Paris this weekend. So we're going to be recording
matter of days.
We're recording our 3rd episode in our hotel room. So we'll pre-apologise for the lighting, but
it might be a little bit of a different setup. But,
but we're gonna.
It'll be more Woody themed.
We're staying at Cheyenne, so it'll be more cowboy.
More cowboy. We'll get some cowboy hats.
But yeah, we're super looking forward to that, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. So until then, have a magical week, and we'll see you real soon.